Hey guys, so here's the progress. So we're looking at 9 completed passenger side bar. Well, not completed. They are all tack welded. They are ready for the final welding, as well as adding the gussets, and then they will be off to powder coating once this passenger side is done. So there's 8 of them that are on the floor. This is the 9th one, and my buddy has a 10th one. Through the whole process of getting these all done, I didn't realize that we have ran low on plates. I know we didn't have enough to begin with, but I thought we had more than what we initially did. Some of the plates have gone into the scrap pile just because trial and error on different things that we found out that didn't work, and they just didn't make the grade, so we had to toss a couple, which sucks, but what it is. Just scrap pile. I mean, there's a lot of tubes that we've had to cut and play with angles and to get the right formula, and I think we've finally come down to something that's consistent. I'm trying to make the part as consistent as possible while as making it easy to install. So right now I am currently waiting on the plates, but there's still a lot of work to do while I'm waiting for the plates. As I mentioned, all those need to have finish welding done. The gussets need to be put on those, and those are ready for powder once that's done. I just finished up with notching all the tubes for this is going to be for the driver's side, so there is 10 tubes for the driver's side. There's 10 bends. These are the upper bends. These cuts all had to be done by hand, which were a pain in the ass, but we finally did get all those done and trying to make them look, as I said, all as consistent as possible. And then this final arm needs to get a bend in it, so the bend will hopefully happen later on this week, if not a couple days. The anchor plates, there's currently 7 that are welded up. I thought I had a couple more, but they might be floating around still. There's 7 that are currently welded up. I have a total of 13, so I still need to order some more anchor plates. Just to go through some of the progress and what's been going on. This was the jig that we used, and there was a lot of time spent in going back and forth with this jig, and it did do a good job getting us in the ballpark, but there are some variations. As I mentioned, some of the final welding has been done in the car, just because the jig is not 100% accurate. The hardest thing with these is there's these point A to point B are not straight. They're on angles, as you can see. So just trying to make sure all these line up, and then going back to the car and bolting them up, make sure they all bolt up. The jig's a good place to start down, lay the tubes down, and then once you have a small light tack on it, then put it on the car, make sure everything fits good, and then start putting some thicker tacks on to get them in place. So the hope is for the rest of this week is to get those bent. I need to finish the anchor plates, finish welding on these. I mean, there's probably going to be a good week's worth of work doing all the welding on these and getting these prepped for powder coating. As I mentioned, on some of these we did notice that we had to notch. I know Doug was concerned about notching on some of these. Not all of them needed to be notched. There's a handful that need to be notched. So if someone wants to put one on a car without any modification or light modification, there will be some notched ones, and some that will not be notched. And they may bolt on and clear fine. Some you may have to just grind this up a little, this corner here a little bit, and to make it clear. So I will try to accommodate everyone as far as if they want a notched one or not notched. And I think there's about 3 or 4 that we actually did notch. So we're going to get this all buttoned up, and then we're going to work on pulling the passenger fender, and then once I get the plates in, we could then get these all welded up. But I think doing all the prep work has got us a good head start to where it should only take a couple days to get these finished. So I just want to give everyone an update on the progress. Let me know your thoughts, opinions. Appreciate everyone's support on this. It was a lot bigger project than I was hoping, and just one of the biggest things is just trying to be anal and make them all look the same. I mean, these are all hand custom made, custom fitted pieces, but I did want to have some basis for them to be all the same, where if you took 2 and looked at them side to side, you could see that the angles land where they all should land in the same spot and such. So on the other side, I don't think we're going to do a jig, just because of how much work it took to make the jig, and in the end they ended up getting welded on the car anyway. So I don't think the jig really helped us much. Alright, talk to you guys later. Bye.